So anyways, so I lost my kids. I did my 3 months. I came out, and with nothing to come out to, my parents fucking hated me. My kids were fucking gone. Everything was shit. I'm gonna start selling dope again. And this time I was going back and forth from Toronto to get shit. And I was partying, and my buddies from Toronto were coming up north with me, and it was a great old time, and fucking doing all sorts of nonsense till I got busted again. And then I did a long time in jail. Got out from that time, and I was like, fuck this selling dope shit. Like, not doing it anymore. Never, ever, ever again am I selling dope. I've lost way too many years and way too much of my life. I'm doing this right this time. So I had a boyfriend at the time. I moved in with him, and I was on house arrest because when I was out on bail, I didn't listen to my bail conditions. I had gone to the bar. I got into a fight. Well, I didn't get into the fight. 2 guys behind me got into a fight. I got smoked in the head. I turned around with my beer bottle, and I fucking whipped a girl in the face, and I cut her from here to here. I almost blinded her. So I had house arrest when I got out of jail. So during that time, I was like, I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna get myself a job. I want a career. I decided I wanted to be a mechanic. So I was looking for somebody that was looking for an apprentice. So I found Tony. I sent him this big long letter about I have no experience whatsoever. I don't even know how to change oil. But I wanted to do this, and I'm eager to learn, and I'm ready to throw my whole life into this trade, and I want you to teach me everything you can, and I will be your sponge, and I want to do this. So he gave me a shot. Honestly, one of the best guys I've ever met in my life. And I managed to fuck him over too. Oh man, but this guy, he was amazing. He honestly did so much for me in my life. You'll hear more about him too as this story goes on. I'm already at 35 minutes, so I hope you're sitting down with a fucking coffee. So I went to work for Tony, and I was staying with my boyfriend, who is extremely abusive. There was mornings where my alarm woke him up. I remember one morning my alarm woke him up, and I lived in Scarborough and was working in Mississauga, so I had 3 hours of transit. I was up at 4 a.m. to get to work for 8. And because it woke him up, he just beat the shit out of me, choked me out, threw me in the bathtub, jumped on top of me. Guy's like 250 pounds, so I didn't stand a chance. So I'd go into work with fucking finger marks around my throat, and because that was his go-to move, was to choke me out until I couldn't breathe and my feet are dangling. It was amazing. But I couldn't go anywhere. I was on house arrest. So, and I didn't know anybody in Toronto except for all my old dope dealing boys, and I did not want to go back there, so I was kind of stuck. So I stayed there until one night he went out to the bar with his buddies, and I stayed home, locked the door when I go to bed, because I live in Scarborough, and I'm locking my door when I go to bed. He didn't have his fucking keys. So he come home, and he ended up kicking the door in, and then just came straight down the hallway fucking hunting for me. Like, you fucking bitch, you fucking locked me out. I just went to bed, and I did the same thing I did every night when I went to bed, and that was lock the door. So anyway, long story short, he beat the shit out of me. The neighbors called the cops because they heard him kick the door in, and they thought that I was being robbed and beat up. So the cops showed up, and because I was on house arrest and I had nowhere else to go in Scarborough, they took me to jail. Well, first, they had me handcuffed to a hospital bed for 3 fucking days because I was beat up that bad. Then they took me to jail. For me doing nothing but going to bed and locking my door, which was just an amazing scenario for me. I was like, fucking A. And I don't know anybody in Toronto to come and bail me out, and I'm on house arrest for all these other fucking charges that I got. So that was a good time. So at this point in my life, I was kind of talking to my mom, and she's like, I can't bail you out. I can't help you. I'm all the way up here. And I'm like, well, can you call Tony and at least tell him why I'm not at work so he doesn't think I'm like doing this on purpose and I'm just not showing up? Like, I don't want to lose the only good thing I have going for me right now, which was that job. So my mom calls Tony, and I couldn't call her back because I spent every single day waking up at 5 a.m. in Milton, getting in the paddy wagon, going to court and trying to get bail every single day. And every single day I had a new fucking, whatever they call those fucking people, the free lawyers. I can't think of it right now because I'm all emotional and rambling. But I got a new fucking lawyer every day that didn't know a fucking thing about me, and I had to re-explain this shit every single day, and nobody could understand why I was in there. I couldn't even understand why I was in there. So anyways, 2 weeks in, and I go to court, and Tony's in there. Oh, fuck's sakes. I never cry either. Like, this is just digging up some old shit. So anyways, Tony was in there with George, and George is the guy that owned the shop that was right next door to us. And they came to bail me out. My mom told them what happened, and he came to save me. I fucking cried and cried and cried and cried, and I was so fucking happy. He bailed me out, but then I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? Well, I didn't know that for him to bail me out, he had to give me somewhere to stay because I was on house arrest. And so he let me sleep on the couch in the office, in the shop. And then, and we had a bathroom there that I was able to shower in, and his dad was such a sweetheart. He used to bring me steak dinners and all sorts of stuff. If they'd barbecue the night before for dinner, he'd bring it to me the next day, and they were so fucking good to me, man. And then there was Catherine, because me and Tony were both Italians, we're both pigheads, and we're both very stubborn, and we didn't get along all the time. Like, we were good to each other. Well, he was good to me. I was good to him for a bit, and then I got bad, but Catherine would be there, and she was like the little mediator between the two of us. I remember one time she had us both sitting in the office, and like, you and you're doing this, and you two need to communicate, and oh man, they were so fucking good to me, and I'll never to this day understand why. But anyways, so long story short, I finally got enough money together where I got my own place again. And I'm alone again. I don't know anybody in Toronto. I've got a good job. I'm doing well with that so far. But my shop was next door to roofers, so I had to behave at work and stuff. But once I got off house arrest, I was out of Tony's little hook. You know, he didn't have to make sure I was doing good all the time anymore. So I was off house arrest, and I started hanging out at strip clubs with the roofers next door after work. I thought it would be a fun idea to go make friends with strippers, because that doesn't lead to anywhere bad at all, right? So anyways, I was doing that for a little while, and then I remember at the strip club meeting this guy named Chris. He was like my best friend, like years in Toronto. I thought he was the coolest shit ever. We'd party all the time, fucking free cocaine, VIPs here, VIPs there, fucking I was treated like a little princess, and yeah, we just partied it up, man. And then he introduced me to his friend Rob. Me and Rob ended up together for 4 years. we were just alcoholics, like crazy alcoholics. Like, I don't think I ever drank as much in my entire life as I did when I was with that guy. Like, it was every single fucking day. And when you're drinking every day, the last thing on your fucking mind is your kids. Oh, and I don't know if I remember if I even said this. I know I started, but Xavier, when the Children's Aid wanted to adopt him out, ended up going with his grandma, so his dad's mom ended up taking him for me. Yeah, thankfully. I can never thank that woman enough. I love Vicky. Like, I have never loved anybody else, because if it wasn't for her, I would have lost my son for good. So yeah, so Xavier was with his grandma for all this time that I'm talking about. So yeah, so out partying and drinking all the time, you're not thinking of your kids. Like, I don't know how many years it went before I even made a phone call to Xavier. And Vicky never stopped me. She never ever, that woman, I am telling you, is God sent. She never stopped me. And when I was ready to talk to him, she let me build a relationship with him. Even though I was fucked, I would still call. You know, I would say I was going to call every Sunday. I never called every Sunday. Sometimes I'd go months without calling, which was fucking horrible. And I was just too caught up in being my drunken little self. Like, I was just drunk all the time. So needless to say, that ended up fucking me over with my job with Tony eventually. He just had enough. He was like, you know what? I've tried everything I can try with you. I'm at a loss. You're not showing up to work. You're not doing good work when you are at work. You need to go. So that was the end of me and Tony. That fucking broke my heart into pieces. Just not even the fact that he fired me. He had good reason to fire me. It was the fact that I had let myself go to the point of disappointing him that bad after he had done so much for me. And he was a stranger at the beginning. Like, he didn't have to come and bail me out. He could have just found another apprentice. He didn't have to let me sleep on that couch. He didn't have to get his parents to feed me. Like, he honestly went above and beyond for me, and I just threw it right back in his face, basically, when I started partying again. And you know, it's so unfortunate, and I've never even had an opportunity to apologize to him for it. So I don't know. If you're out there and you watch this, Tony, I do appreciate everything you did for me and everything you put up with from me. And I will forever love you for that. And I am very sorry that I disappointed you in the ways that I disappointed you after all that. So I lost my job with Tony and I met Rob. And that's where the drinking just got totally out of hand. And I was on unemployment for a while, so I had no job. And I was drinking like a fucking fish. And I was still doing coke. Not like every day like I used to, but I was still doing it like at least a couple times a week. Drinking, not talking to my kids. And that went on for years. Like, God, me and Rob, at one point, we were working together while I was working for him and his dad. So we would wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, drink, fight, go to sleep, wake up, go to work. And that was my life for basically 4 years. And it was like nonstop chaos with fighting all the time. I had a room rented just so that I had somewhere where I can go when we fought. Like, we lived together, but I always had my little safe spot because he's kicking me out at 4 a.m. I'm not going to go and start knocking on people's doors. So I had a room that I rented for $500 a month just for when he kicked me out. It was that fucking amazing. But no, we stayed together doing that for 4 years straight until we went to Cuba. And I drank a 40 of Captain Morgan's on the plane. That does everybody all sorts of good, right? Like, I got off the plane and I don't even know what happened. I can't even remember it. I just remember waking up on the side of the road in Cuba with policemen on top of me, not knowing where the fuck I was supposed to be going, not knowing where the fuck I even was, and why they couldn't speak English. And I'm like, what in the serious fuck? And these guys were grabbing me, so I was fighting them, and oh my God, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But anyways, so we got to spend a week together over there. I'm not going to get into the whole story about while we were there, but it was nasty. We were fucking fighting on the beach, and oh my God. So when we got back from there, we were done with each other for good. So then I got back to Toronto and I got a job working for Hitachi Power Tools. Making really good money. But even there, I was still drinking and partying all the time. And I remember my fucking first day to work. They fucking hired me. Oh my God. Oh, Murphy, I love you, but I hate you. So they hire me and I'm like, fuck yeah, $22 an hour, bilingual service tech. I'm like, this is a good job and I can actually go somewhere with this. This is fucking awesome. Right on. Let's go celebrate. I got to go to work the next day. Oh my God. So my first day at Hitachi, I clearly didn't go. I was up celebrating still at 6 a.m, doing cocaine and drinking, trying to come up with legit excuses as to why I didn't make it to my first day of work. Believe it or not, I kept my job even through 30 or 40 more days just like that. Got to the point where I got brought into HR with my supervisor, and they told me that if I'm as sick as I appear to be on paper, that I should be forever committed into a hospital, because I'm clearly terminally ill. So, which wasn't the case. While I was just an alcoholic. So anyways, I still kept working at Hitachi. I had to sign paperwork saying that if I miss another day, whatever, there's consequences, whatever. So then I just started showing up at work still drunk. I kept doing that for a while, and then I was still partying. And then I met Ryan, who is currently my husband now. He was a little punk rocker in Brantford. I was in Toronto. We were little alcoholics together for the first little bit we were together. But keeping in mind, I just did 4 years of alcohol and fighting and all this shit. So he was a bass player in a punk band. So we did a lot of partying and a lot of drinking and a lot of all that shit when we first met, until one night, I don't know what happened. We were fighting. I put his head into a wall. And I decided, I don't know what happened. He went up to bed and he had muscle relaxers because he had thrown his back out. And we were fighting, and I just guess I decided I didn't want to live anymore. I honestly don't remember what happened. I just remember waking up in a hospital bed with my dad standing at the end of it. And Ryan, and I'm like, what in the fuck happened here? And I swallowed the whole bottle of muscle relaxers. Yeah, and Ryan was upstairs in bed. So I easily could have died that night. I really honestly don't know how I didn't. But that still wasn't enough to change shit. No, we kept drinking and partying and this and that. And then finally one night we got into a big, huge fight. I literally ripped the mohawk off his head. Like, ripped his hair out of his head. And then he threw me around a little bit. It was just intense. It led to, like, him shaving his fucking head. And I don't know. But anyways, I woke up the next day and it was like, okay, we are making a choice and we are doing this right fucking now. Either we keep drinking and partying, but I'm leaving. I just did 4 years of this shit. I am not doing 4 more years of this shit with you. I was like, I'm over it. Or we quit drinking and we stay together. So he said, let's quit drinking and stay together. And I'm like, all right, but I can't see this lasting. Me and Rob had tried to quit drinking so many times, and we just feed off each other. If it wasn't him saying, oh, fuck it, let's go get beer, it was me. So it was like, we just feed off each other, and I was like, I could just foresee this all happening again, and I was like, fuck, man. all right, but I'll give it a shot and see if it goes anywhere. I'm going to try this again. And I haven't drank since. Not one fucking drop of alcohol since that day. I don't know what switch flipped, or maybe it helped that I had him do it with me. I honestly have no idea how it happened, but it happened. And that's how I quit drinking. And I quit drinking, and then I didn't want to do any drugs anymore because I wasn't drinking. So that's basically where my life kind of took a big backflip. We were together, I think about 6 months at the time when we decided we'd quit drinking, and we still go out, not very often, but we still go out, and I can go to a bar and I drink water. I've done it in Toronto a few times. I went to Kitty's birthday. Everybody was wasted and doing all sorts of shit, and I went to the bar, and Ruby was working, and she had seen me in all my glories with Rob before, and I went up to the bar and I ordered a water. Well, let me tell you, I've never seen somebody so surprised in my fucking life. She said, water? You? Water? What the fuck? He was like, yeah, dude, I don't fucking drink anymore. She's like, oh my fucking God, I'm so proud of you, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the amount of people that were so proud of me. I didn't realize I was as bad as I was when I drank, but I was fucking horrible. I'd be laying all over the streets, fighting with my boyfriends at bars, fucking like, it was just crazy. So when all these people see me go back a year and a half later for Kitty's birthday, and I was dead sober, I was thin, I looked good, I was healthy, I'm doing good for myself. The amount of everybody was so proud of me, and I'm like, wow, I must have been pretty fucking bad, eh? Like, Jesus Christ. So anyway, so that was pretty awesome for me. And I think having Ryan quitting drinking with me was, you know, I had somebody still, because that lonely factor of doing things by myself, I just hated. So we did it together, and we're still doing it together. We don't drink, doesn't bother either of us. I have no desire to drink whatsoever. For the first time in my life, I have absolutely no desire ever, and it was since that day. It's like it's been gone. I mean, I tried to quit with Rob, and it was like this little nagging voice in the back of my head that's always like, oh, you want a beer, you want a beer, you want a beer. I didn't get that this time. It was so easy. It was weird. But anyways, and now it's just been that way ever since. So let me tell you about some good stuff now. So my son, who is living with grandma, has gone down a little bit of a bad road himself, running away from home and fucking running away from grandma, to the point where she was like, at this point, I'm like in regular contact with my kid too, because I quit drinking. My life was going the way that I wanted it to. Things were finally falling into place for me. So I was talking to both my kids, actually. Sierra too. I got back into her life, and, you know, I explained, they're both old enough at this point. One was 12. I think Sierra was 16. And, well, I started talking to them before that. Like, Xavier was probably about 8 when I started trying to keep regular contact, but probably about 10 by the time it was an actual regular contact. And yeah, so they were old enough, and I explained them, like, I was sick, I have an addiction, and, you know, I can't change what I did then. I can't. There's no magic wand that's going to bring me back in time to be able to fix everything that I've done to you two. Like, I regret it more than anything in my fucking life, and I thank God every day that both of my fucking kids turned out so fucking good, because they did not have an easy life. They were bounced around. They were fucking, oh, they seen way too much garbage way too young, all because of me. And, you know, I can't change a thing. It's unfortunately what they had to live through, but I can only make things better from now on. So that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so Xavier got to be a little much for grandma with all his running away and his stealing, and he stole her bank card and all sorts of shit. So she's like, Melissa, I've got nothing left to give this fucking kid. Come and get him right now. And I'm like, huh? You want me to what? Like this was Saturday. I was at work and she wanted me there Sunday fucking morning because she knew I was off and she was done. She was like, come and get this fucking kid. I got nothing left to give him. And I'm like, at the same time, I was happy because I was trying to convince her to let him come live with me for like a year, because this is like a while after me and Ryan stopped drinking and my life was together, and I saw how much she was going through with him, and I'm like, Vicky, I'm in a good place with my life right now. But she had seen me be in a good place for a little whiles at a time, and I'm sure she didn't trust the fact that I was good for a little bit and would stay good, which is totally understandable. She wasn't giving me my kid back until she was fucking sure, which is, good on her for that, because she raised him. She did a great job raising him. And yeah, so finally the day came where she was secure enough to say, you know what, take your fucking little shit, because I can't do this anymore. But I was scared as fuck. Like, I'm like, holy fuck. I had never really been a full parent, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting my fucking kid back. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. How am I going to do this? I have no idea how to be a parent. This kid hasn't even fucking, I've seen him twice in like 8 years, and I'm like, now he's just coming to live with me, and I'm gonna have to explain things, and I was fucking shitting my fucking pants, but happy as shit in the meantime. Like, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I didn't know, it was just like crazy. So anyways, we went and picked him up and all that stuff. We've had our little run-ins with fun when he first moved in with us, and a little bit, we had about a week or so of a good time when he first started high school this year. That was, if you follow me on Facebook, you've heard about it. The girls and the hickeys and the skipping school and yes, I'm so happy I get to be a mommy again. But anyways, I wouldn't change it for the world. Honestly, I fucking love my son. I love having him with me. But yeah, he put us through some fucking good times. I had to charge him. He stole from me. He stole my weed. He stole my cigarettes. He really did the testing period well. But we got through it. And I'm an understanding mom. I've been through it all. I've done it all. There is nothing he's going to do that will surprise me. And to be honest with you, I called every move before it even happened. But it's his learning experience, and what I'm going to do that my parents didn't do with me is I am going to be here for this fucking kid till I die if it kills me. I will never give up on him. I will never let him be out on his own. I don't care if I am his worst motherfucking nightmare. I am here for the long haul this time. I ain't fucking losing this kid one more time. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Carly moved in with us. So we had Xavier move in May of, 2017. So it would have been 2015 because he's been with us about a year and a half now. And then Carly moved in January of 2016. And she is my stepdaughter. She's Ryan's daughter. She's fucking amazing little girl. But again, terrifying fucking experience. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, now we've got my kid, and now we're supposed to raise 2 kids? How the fuck do we do that? I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now, okay, like I don't even know if I can make it with 1. Now you're throwing 2 in my lap. Here we fucking go. What the fuck, But honestly, that little girl coming into my life has been another thing that has just been epically amazing. She is the sweetest, most loving, caring little girl that I have ever met in my life. She doesn't mouth back. She's just honestly amazing, and I'm so happy to have her part of my life. So yeah, so now we live like one fucking happy little family. Then I got my dread business going, which for any of you that are on my YouTube, you know about, because it's the only videos I've posted up until I started my black work and now this video. So yeah, so I got my dread business, got my kids back in my life, And I am drug and alcohol free 3 years in October. Actually, is it 4 years this year? I think it might be 4 years this year that I'm clean and sober, which is the longest ever. Before, I only made it as far as a year. So yeah, I don't have any magic cure for it. It's just, how bad do you really want your life to change is what it all comes down to. And yeah, I thank God every day for the day that I met Ryan. As fucked up as we were in the beginning, we did this together. We're still doing this together. We got my kid back together. Now we've got his kid with us together. He is my rock. He's my little bitch man, because he is a bit of a pussy, but I love him dearly, and if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be right now. So yeah, that's my story. I don't know, I probably could have done a better job recording this, but I tried 5 times before this, and my phone just kept giving up because it's such a long video. This one is already over an hour. But this is my story, and yeah, I am so happy now. My life is normal. I do not much but work. I concentrate on my dreadlock business, and and my kids. And this is me now, and I'm very happy with me for the first time in my life. Yeah, and I've got my parents back. I've got my kids back. I've got lots of love in my life. And yeah, I've got all you guys out there that love and support me, even though you don't really know me. Well, now you'll know me a little bit more. But yeah, I keep getting these messages and things on Facebook of people saying I inspire them and all this shit. And it's really kind of odd to me considering where I've came from. But that's why I'm making this video, you know, just to, I don't know, let people know me a little bit more. I might do something else along these lines later on. I don't know. We'll see. If any of you guys have any questions or anything, drop your shit in the comments and I will answer if I can. I'll help out with whatever I can whenever I can. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more to come. We'll see. But for today, I am done talking. Sorry, I got a message that came in at the same time, and I was reading, and it said working, and I was saying talking, and it just kind of worked itself into one little word there. But anyways, so yeah, that's a little bit inside of the story of me, and don't judge too cruelly. But this is me. And like I said, there's no fixing the past. There's only making it better from now on. And that's what I'm trying to do. So don't rain on my fucking parade by leaving asshole comments about, see, that's what happens when you have kids at 16. Because I don't need to hear it. Keep your negative. I can't talk anymore. See, I've been talking too long. I can't talk anymore. But keep your negative shit to yourself if you got anything to say that's negative. Because honestly, I don't need it. I'm sure there's still going to be some because there's always one, but for now, have a great day, YouTube. This is me. You made me cry. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, have a good one, guys.